In a small, quiet village, nestled among rolling hills and ancient trees, lived a wise old master. He was known throughout the land, not for any grand displays of power, but for his profound understanding of life's deepest questions. People traveled for days, even weeks, from bustling cities and distant lands, all seeking his guidance. They brought him their troubles, their fears, and their hopes. One bright morning, a young man arrived at the master's humble home. His face was etched with weariness, and his eyes, though young, were clouded with a deep-seated worry. He looked like he was carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. He bowed respectfully before the master and began to speak, his voice trembling slightly. "Master," he said, "I feel completely lost. My life is a constant storm of stress, fear, and confusion. I have so many dreams. I want to grow. I want to achieve great things. I want to find success and happiness. But every time I try to move forward, my mind pulls me back. It's always crowded with negative thoughts, doubts, and anxieties. It feels like a prison I can't escape." The old master listened patiently, his gaze calm and compassionate. When the young man finished, a gentle smile graced the master's lips. Without saying a word, he stood up and gestured for the young man to follow him. He led him to a small wooden table where a simple tea set was placed. The master picked up a delicate porcelain cup and a heavy iron teapot. He began to pour the fragrant steaming tea into the cup. The rich amber liquid swirled, filling the cup to the brim. The old man watched, curious about what lesson this simple act could hold. But then, something strange happened. The cup was already full, yet the master kept pouring. The tea began to overflow, cascading down the side of the cup, forming a growing puddle on the wooden table, and finally dripping onto the clean floor. The young man couldn't hold back any longer. He leaped up, his voice filled with alarm. "Master, stop! The cup is full. Can't you see? The tea is spilling everywhere." The master paused his pouring. He looked at the overflowing cup, then turned his serene eyes to the young man. He spoke, his voice as calm as a still lake. "Exactly," he said softly. "Your mind is just like this cup. It is full. It is overflowing with fear, with anger, with regrets from the past, and with painful memories. If your mind is already completely full, how can it possibly receive anything new?" The young man stood frozen, the master's words echoing in his mind. He looked from the spilled tea back to the master's wise face, and a profound silence fell between them. The gentle scent of tea filled the air, but the young man barely noticed. He was beginning to understand. The master continued, his voice a gentle guide. "You say you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to succeed. These are like fresh, pure tea. You cannot pour fresh tea into a cup that is already overflowing with stale, bitter dregs. Before you can truly learn anything new, before you can grow into the person you want to become, you must first do one crucial thing. You must empty your mind." He gestured towards the young man's heart. First, you must release the fear that paralyzes you. Immersed. Abandon the doubt that whispers you are not good enough. Only an empty cup can be filled with fresh tea. Only a clear mind can absorb new wisdom and create a new reality. That day, in that simple room, something powerful shifted within the young man. He had come seeking a complicated answer, a secret technique to conquer his problems. Instead, he received a simple, undeniable truth. 2. He realized that his biggest enemy wasn't the world outside, it wasn't other people, and it wasn't his circumstances. His greatest obstacle was his own cluttered, overflowing mind. From that day forward, the young man's journey took a new direction. He began the daily practice of emptying his cup. He started meditating, not to gain anything, but to let go. He practiced mindfulness, observing his negative thoughts as they arose and letting them pass like clouds in the sky, without judgment or attachment. He wrote down his fears and regrets, and then he symbolically burned the paper, releasing them. He learned to forgive himself for past mistakes and to forgive others who had hurt him. It wasn't an easy process, and it didn't happen overnight. Sundays, the old habits would resurface, and the cup would start to fill up again with worry and doubt. But he was persistent. Each morning he would remind himself, empty your cup. He started focusing on positive actions, no matter how small. He celebrated tiny victories. He began to look for the good in every situation and in every person he met. Slowly but surely, his life began to change. His mind became clearer. He found that he had more energy, more creativity, and more focus. Opportunities that he had never noticed before started to appear. The relationships in his life became deeper and more meaningful. The constant stress that had plagued him was replaced by a sense of inner peace and quiet confidence. He was no longer a prisoner of his own thoughts. He was becoming the master of his mind. This ancient story holds a timeless lesson for all of us. How often do we feel stuck, just like that young man? We want to change, we want to improve, but we feel like we're running in place. We read books, we watch videos, we seek advice, but nothing seems to stick. Perhaps the problem isn't that we need to add more information, but that we need to subtract the mental clutter that's holding us back. What is your cup full of? Is it old resentments, fear of failure, the sting of past rejections, self-doubt? Just for a moment, imagine what your life could be like if you started to empty that cup. Imagine letting go of the need to be right, the anger at things you cannot change, the worry about a future that hasn't happened. When your mind is empty, it becomes open. Open to new ideas, new perspectives, new possibilities. An empty mind is not a vacant mind. 2. It is a mind that is present, aware, and ready. It's a space where creativity can flourish, where intuition can speak, and where true peace can be found. So today, I invite you to ask yourself that simple question: what can I let go of? Maybe it's one small regret. Maybe it's one nagging fear. Start there. Empty your cup, drop by drop, day by day. And you will find that as you create that space within you, the best parts of life, joy, growth, and wisdom will naturally begin to flow in. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content to help you on your journey. We'll see you in the next one.